Okay, so let's say that you want to add a mouth to your stick dude, but you don't want your mouth to be a perfect circle. So what you could do is you could make a mouth that is a different shape, that is kind of like a squished circle. It's called an ellipse. So what you can do is you can take the equation of one of your other circles, copy it and paste it in the line below. There you go. So you don't have to do all that work all over again. And then what I would do before I start squishing the circle is I would position it where you want to position it. So clearly we're going to want to take the circle and move it to the left and down. So we're going to need to add to our x variable and add to our y variable to get those corresponding shifts. Let's say I add 0.5 to my x variable. That would be equivalent to just saying x minus 1. And let's say I want to add to my y variable, so let's say I'll also add a 0.5 as well. And if I add a 0.5 within these brackets, it's really going to be y minus 4.5. So there's my mouth now. And again, I don't want a perfect circle. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to dilate or squish or stretch this circle in the vertical dimension. And you can do that by taking the whole expression for y and dividing it by a number that is smaller than 1. So let's say you divide it by 0.5. There you've squished it a little bit, so that can be your mouth if you're happy with that for your stick dude. Or you can squish it even more by dividing it by an even smaller number than 0.5, like 0.25. So that looks completely fine to me there. For reasons that would eventually become clear in Chapter 8 in conics, we don't apply this change within these brackets here. But let's say you also wanted to squish it in the horizontal dimension. So if you wanted to squish it in the horizontal dimension, you absolutely could do that as well. You would just divide by the polynomial term that contains x, your x variable here. So what you could do here is you could divide by 0.25 to squish it in the x dimension if you wanted, and there it looks like you've got a mouth of surprise or something like that. So you can basically configure whatever sort of orientation you want for your ellipse and whatever kind of squishification you want for your ellipse as well. So this looks like the one that I would choose, but you could choose your own. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a sense of control. If you also wanted to make it larger in the y direction, you could divide it by a number larger than 1, like so, or a number even larger than that, or a number even larger than that, and so on and so forth. But I don't want a mouth that big for my stick dude, so I'll just stick with 0.25 and squish the circle like that, and there you go. That's how you can incorporate ellipses into your Desmos drawings as well.